Welcome back to Hardcore Ultimate Iron Man. Just down here, training some magic before we get going with today's episode. Just still fire striking ammonite crabs, getting fossils, stacking those up for later. And there is level 78 magic. That unlocks the Trident of the Swamp, Resurrect Crops, Dyryak Teleport, Khazard Teleport, and Tan Leather. There really are just so many spells. But that's level 78. And now, some quests. A very long time ago, we got access to Keldagrim and smashed a statue in the process. We were arrested, brought over here to the Black Guard headquarters, and we were supposed to talk to Commander Veldaban. Instead, we just kind of left. But now we are finally back to continue the Giant Dwarf. I am under arrest because of the incident destroying the statue of the king. Yep. It wasn't on purpose or anything, I assure you. And it turns out they didn't really care. There hasn't been a king of Keldagrim for quite some time. So they were thinking of replacing the statue anyways. We're not under arrest. Instead, we're going to have to help them out. He is Captain Veldaman, Commander of the Black Guard. Very cool. And our task is to go help the sculptor with making the new statue. I can do that. It's the least we can do after destroying the last one. He lives over to the east. And even though we are saying we're not much of a sculptor, 75 crafting says otherwise, but okay. We're not actually going to be doing the sculpting. We just need to help out with some other bits. Bits and tasks. So let's go and see this sculptor. Here is Blazadar the sculptor and Ricky the model for the statue. I am here to help. What do you need? Not a sculptor's assistant. That's not me. And I'm also not the model. But we can do some errands. Important errands, but errands nonetheless. He needs some stuff for the model. The statue is broken into a million pieces, and they don't have any paintings or anything of it, since they don't really do much painting. So they're going to need some stuff to base the new statue on. Of just a few items that we can help with. A pair of boots, the best we can find. They want it similar to the originals, but since these are from an ancient king, we're just going to go with some fancy boots we can find. We need clothes that look like King Albus's clothes. He doesn't know where to find those, so that's up to us. Of course it is. And a battle axe. It seems that the original axe still exists, so we can make use of that. And that should be all we need. everything should be in Keldagrim. So we can start looking around. First of the items I'm going to look into is the clothes. We got a clothes shop over here with Vermundi. I'm looking for some special clothes, helping with rebuilding the statue. They could hear the statue crumbling from over here, since it's just right out here in the middle of the river. But they don't exactly have what we need. They're going to need some reference material. And there should be a picture or something in the library. Should have the ancient designs. And once we get the designs, they can make the clothes. No problem. So now we can go check out the library. Just across the northern bridge here, we've got a human traveler also visiting the library, the assistant, and librarian. I'm looking for a book on the king's clothes. I'm helping to rebuild the statue, and we need the design. They do have the book for that, the Scholar's Guide to Dwarven Costumes. And it's somewhere in the library on a top shelf. Somewhere. Not the best librarian. There's just a book somewhere here. Climb up the little ladder, and we found it. Just what we need. We can't actually look in the book or anything, but it's a book on costumes, and that should work. Here is the book for the special clothes. She checks it out, and it looks very doable. One thing we need to do first, though, is refuel the spinning machine. It's steam-powered, but she's out of coal and wood. But I can manage that. And by I can manage that, I of course mean I already have the things. Load it up with coal and logs, and light it. Now that's working. She can make the clothes. We still need to pay, because this is going to be some very fine cloth. So even though we are helping the city, had to go get the book, and refueled her machine, it's 200 coins. And honestly, that's not a huge deal. So I'm fine with it. Look at it go. Spinning away. My goodness. And here we have it. Exquisite clothes. Fantastic. Next up, I'm heading after the boots. Where better to find some boots than an armor shop? Also, frogs. Go away. Armor shop. Looking for some special boots. The best boots you have, fit for a king. He has some very nice boots. Or rather, he had some very nice boots. They have been sold. And he doesn't have anything else appropriate for the statue. So we're going to go and see the person he sold the boots to. Drummond. He can be a bit peculiar, but he's right nearby, so not a huge difficulty. Although we're going to need luck to get the boots from him. We'll see about that. Right over here. Just a few buildings away. Here's the old dwarf we're looking for. He immediately goes to "We are trespassing," which is more than a lot of people do. Typically, we just kind of wander inside people's houses. I'm just looking for the boots. I need those boots. But he has the boots on his display tables. Not even using them. So, could I just buy them? No. There's nothing we can do to convince him. So instead of buying his boots, we're just gonna steal them. One left boot. And then we have to go outside, because trying to grab this boot will get stopped by this cat. Why exactly we would let a cat stop us is a whole nother question. But telekinetic grab, and we are golden. And they immediately combine in our inventory into the exquisite boots. So now all we need is the battle axe, which we can get here at the weapon shop. King Alvis's axe. We need it for the statue. And that's a pretty good reason. He doesn't think that the destruction of the statue was an accident. But never mind that. The sculptor needs it for the model. He's had this axe for generations. After they found it along the river. He thinks that this is the original axe, but there's not much left to it. It's rusted, the sapphires are gone. So we're going to need to get it repaired before it's of any use. It seems to match the description of the axe, at any rate. So even if it isn't the exact one, it'll still work for our purposes. So I could try to repair it. We could do the sapphires, since we are skilled enough crafter. But the blade, not quite with our skills. We need an Imcando dwarf. And I know exactly where to find one of those. He helped me make a sword a while ago, so I'm sure he'll help again. Off to the south end of Asgarnia, and I can take the axe there very easily. And here is the old axe. Very rusted and worn. We can't be too surprised about that. They did find it in a river, after all. Instead of doing any of his ideas of taking the mine carts to the Dwarven mine or anything, we're just going to take our fairy ring here. And we are literally already here. Hey, Thurgo. Got an axe for you. An ancient axe. He wants another red berry pie. Even though we already gave him one. That's doable, though. one fresh red berry pie. Just because. He takes the pie. He eats the pie. Pats his stomach. Another fantastic pie from me. Now he can help us with the axe. We need to restore it. And it's from Keldagrim. Hasn't been there in a long time. But he can fix this axe right up. No blurite this time. Not appropriate. So we're just going to need one iron bar. He can fix the axe easily enough. And then we can add the sapphires. Here's a random little teleport to Keldagrim, which is convenient. We could explore Port Sarim. No, I'll just take the free teleport. Thank you very much. And we are right back with the sculptor and the sapphires, and it is perfect. I've got everything you need. The boots, the clothes, and the axe. We just give it all over here to Ricky, and he puts it all on. And there we go. Looking nice. And now they can build the statue. But there is one more problem. The statue needs a head. And the consortium has decided that one of them will be on the statue. We're not just remaking the king statue anymore. Because of course we aren't. We need to go see if they've made their decision yet. And we can manage that. But he can build the statue up to the neck at least. So, currently, we have a giant headless statue, which is fantastic. Ideal. Alright. Heading over into the main large building here to talk to the consortium guys. But they are ignoring me. Talk to his secretary. Fine. I need to speak to the director about this whole statue business. But they're not going to let me. It's about the statue. Can we just get on with this? They don't take commands from the Blackguard, or the statue guy, or me. So we are going to have to persuade them to listen to us about the thing we're trying to help them with. Because of course we are. Anything I can do to help? They want 3 pieces of mithril ore. Fine by me. And now, we're going to make good use of our location here. Tactically chosen. So we can run over to the blast furnace to get them everything they might want. 3 mithril ore. Easily doable. Run down here and buy it. And while we're here, we could try to bring some other ores. exactly how many we can get is going to be the problem here. We'll try tin and copper. Why not? If it's anything else, we're just going to have to come back here again. But that's easily doable. So not a huge problem. We just need to do enough of these tasks to get in their good favor. So it's just going to be a bit of running back and forth here, buying the ores for the secretary. Got another task. They want iron this time. Fine. It's also possible that they would want clay. So we'd have to actually go and mine that if that was the case. But we can bring 3 types of ores times 5 if we drop this pickaxe. So if we need to get clay, we can go grab another pickaxe easily enough. So back down here again. Buy some iron. And repeat. And repeat. A few more ore delivered. And now we can speak to the director. I am here about the statue. Have you guys decided what you're doing? The Red Axe leader, Hridemar, thinks it should be one of them. But they haven't decided who quite yet. Presumably, he thinks it's going to be him, since they have one of the larger companies. But they aren't all going to agree to that. Everybody is vying for the honor. I'd support you. Because why not? Just to get this whole thing moving here. But if we really want our support to be constructive here, we would need to be an actual member of the Brown Engine. One would think maybe us just deciding would be fine if we just were a non-connected party, but this is fine too, I guess. So I'd like to join their company. But of course, first we need to do some tasks. 3 bars of iron. I'll take it. Much like with the ores, we just need to run over to the blast furnace and make some bars. We're not going to really use the blast furnace because ultimately it's going to be more expensive than not. So instead, we're just going to get some free magic XP out of this whole business, doing some superheats. Grab some iron. We can even superheat while running back. So that's efficiency. That's efficiency right there. Get past all the random doors that close themselves. And superheats. And we can superheat these bronze bars here, just so they take up less space. Turn in this set of bars. Grab another task for more iron bars. So, yet again, running back and forth. But this time, bars. Now we can join the company. We've proven ourselves, I guess. So, why not? We are now a trusted associate of the Brown Engine. I'll quickly just superheat all these bars and drop them. Since I purchased these gold. Don't need any of these. And now that we are in the group, we can get the whole statue thing moving along. Back through the conversation we had earlier, I will support him. We are an outsider to the city, so maybe we'll have some influence here, if we play our cards right, at the meeting here. All of the directors meet at the top floor of the palace, and they're going to have a meeting here soon to sort out this whole business. So we can come to the meeting. Now we can go and talk to Veldeban. Because reasons, I suppose. Everything has been sorted, and we're going to be figuring out who we're putting on top of the statue at the next meeting. So let's go. It's going to be a long meeting. Well, that's fine. Wouldn't make much sense to not attend the meeting, since we kind of have to be there to voice our support. As we get there, everyone is bickering that they want to be on top of the statue. We've already made the statue a male body, so having a female head would be slightly strange. We can do whatever we want. Red Axe Boy thinks it's going to be him, but everybody kind of hates him, so they're not going to agree to that whatsoever. They are the wealthiest, but they do all of their books behind closed doors, so that's dubious. We really need to figure out what we're going to do with this statue. How about random? How's that sound? No good. He proposed this whole idea in the first place, so he wants it. And here comes Veldeban and me. I am a guest here at the meeting. Hi, everybody. Nice proper bow. He doesn't like that I'm here. He doesn't like a lot of things. I've already helped with all the rest of the statue, so I might as well be here. And everybody else thinks that's fine. And so now, they're gonna just have me choose. Our guy immediately accepts, obviously. But if we go through with all this, the Red Axe is going to boycott the whole thing. Not that anybody else actually cares about that. They'd be happy if he was gone. It seems like they think we're an outsider still, even though we've already chosen the Brown Engine. He's leaving. We're going to regret this. Because of course we will. And then, the statue is complete. That really does not look like the guy we chose, but okay. Sure. That's fine. Anyways. That is the Giant Dwarf completed. 2 quest points. 2,500 mining, smithing, and crafting XP. 1,500 magic and thieving. And fire making XP. Any levels from that? Nope. But that's okay. Very good. Very good. And now, we continue on with another dwarf quest. For the next quest, there's a few items that we need to get. One of them being barley malt. I prepared for this by planting some barley here in Yanil. Just grab 2 of it, because that's enough. And we're going to need some stuff from our tool leprechaun. So just grab that while we're here. We're going to be doing a bit of farming, a bit of cooking, all that jazz. Use the barley on a range. And there is barley malt. A couple buckets of water. Then we just need to go get a few more things. And we'll be ready. This quest starts with Commander Veldeban. He's freaking out about something. And we are commenting on the fact that the farming skill had just been released at this time of the quest being released. Well, that's not important. The red axe. They're gone. They said they were going to boycott the trade floor. And now they've completely left. That's fairly serious. This kind of thing has never happened before. Everyone's kind of panicking a bit. So, we're going to help them out. We need to find out what the red axe is up to. So I'm going to go undercover as a spy or something. They're going to kick the red axe out for all these shenanigans anyways. So figure out what they're doing. Fair game. Unfortunately, they don't really have many leads. Besides one. He is over to the northeast, raving about kebabs. Don't think I've met this person, no. He's a bit drunk. And by a bit drunk, they mean always drunk all the time. But in his mad ramblings, there seems to be something about the red axe. So we're going to investigate to see if anything's actually going on here. And since this is our only lead, we don't really have many choices. Start Forgettable Tale. We can do it. We get a little cutscene here. We got the statue that we just made. Panning in across Keldegrim. We got the Consortium. This is Rise of the Red Axe, Part 2. Oh boy. Forgettable Tale of a Drunken Dwarf. And right here is said drunken dwarf in a house, being drunk, and all that. The drunken dwarf's relative, who is also drunk, all the time. Their house is full of broken glass, which is pretty concerning. I need to know about the red axe. They'll come for you. What do you mean? You can't think straight while he's sober. Don't look very sober to me. He'll tell us about the whatever it is we want to know after we get him some of the good stuff. Got the good stuff? Here you go. A beer. No. No, no, no. Not the good stuff. He wants the really good stuff. Kelda Stout. It's ash blue. And foul tasting as ash. Very strong stout. Not good for him, but he wants it anyway. We need 4 seeds to grow the hops. And we get the other seeds from his drinking buddies. The seeds are quite rare, but they should have some. So we have to wander around and get some other seeds. We only need 3 more. So how hard could it be? We've got a drunken dwarf wandering around outside this pub. See if he has any of the Kelda seeds. He has one. But he's not just going to give it to us, of course. He wants a steel dart. Okay. He's got a whole list of random things he can want. And we can make a steel dart. So that's doable. I've done him 1 better. And instead of 1 steel dart, I've grabbed 10 steel darts. Rowdy dwarf. A steel dart. And a splendid trade. Very good. And now we're not going to need these other steel darts. We'll just drop those. Next up, we're going to take a trip to White Wolf Mountain on the carts. A decent way to get around to various dwarven locations. And we pop out right where we need to be. In here, we want to talk to Korvac here. Looking for Kelda seeds. I need to brew one. And he has a seed we can borrow. Exactly how we're going to borrow a seed. Can't exactly give it back once it's grown. Then no deal. Fine, I will borrow the seed. And I'll give it right back after I'm done. Yes. That does bring up a question of why we don't get any seeds back after farming things. But I'm sure this will be fine. 3 out of 4. And now, we ride back to Keldagrim to track down the 4th dwarf. 4th dwarf. And where else would they be but the other bar? He looks knowledgeable about all things about beers. Kelda Stout. He's got a seed. and he will give it to us if we toast. Hurrah. Cheers. Ting. We are very fun. He's got 1 seed, and we can have it. So that is all 4. We will talk to the gardener here about best practices for Kelda hops. Very rare seeds indeed. And apparently, they only grow underground. Sunlight is harmful to them. Fascinating. We can use the palace garden here for growing them. They are a pretty normal crop, if slightly quicker than others. So we should be okay. They're still not, like, incredibly fast or anything. So we're still going to be waiting a bit. Because of course we are. But we can pull Anthem here. And now we wait. They're growing. This can take like 15 to 20 minutes. You don't need to be logged in the whole time, but logging in and out or hopping worlds or anything resets the timer. So we're just going to sit here. I could go and do something, but my inventory, so this is fine. Sometimes staring at the crops just does work. Harvest, and we get a singular Kelda hops. And now, we just need to brew it. Using the whole brewing setup here in Keldagrim. There's also another one over in Port Phasmatis, but we can't use that one. No good. No good. Also, we got stuck on the desk there. That was interesting. Anyways, we just need to head over here to this bar and head upstairs. We're also going to need a bit of ale yeast. And we can get that for 25 GP in the pot we brought. Deal. Now I just need to use the fermenting vat here. Starting by adding 2 buckets of water. Second one used automatically. And then the barley malt that we prepared. The Kelda hops. And finally, the ale yeast. And now, after having just waited 15 to 20 minutes, we get to wait 15 to 20 minutes again. Stirring once again works. And the Kelda Stout has been brewed. Turn this valve here. And we managed to make 1 pint out of that entire vat. Because that makes sense. We harvested 1 bit of hops, made 1 glass of stout. My goodness. What a thoroughly wasteful process this whole thing has been. But we've got what we need to give to the drunken dwarf. Freshly brewed. Here you go. Now, the red axe. For whatever reason, this seems to have sobered him up somehow. he has a tale for us. An unforgettable tale, one might say. They were with the Magenta Accordion Mining Company. One of the lesser ones. We wouldn't know about them. Not in the consortium. So, he left, and he decided to become an explorer. He went into some mines to the south of Keldegrim, which are now boarded up. And there were some amazing things back there. He nearly fell into the abyss. He had to run for his life. Pink dragons. And now he doesn't really remember anything after that. People think he's a drunken fool. Very interesting. To the south, you say? All those scenes where it faded to black was part of his incredibly long story. But the gist of it is that he headed south. So we're going to head south ourselves here. See this boarded up track here. And ask about it. About the closed off tunnel. I need to get back there. They can't open it. They don't have the authority. We need to go talk to an influential friend. And we've got some of those here in Keldegrim. The director that we helped get his head on the statue, he can help us with this tunnel. It seems to be related to the Red Axe, and everyone is very interested in getting that seen too. So he will issue the order to get the boards removed. Fantastic. Now we can head to the south. We ride. Both hands free, huh? Fine. Don't need both hands free for any of the other minecarts. But this is a bit of a different situation. We look out over an abyss of minecart tracks. Deep underground. We have to find our way across. We start with a box with green and yellow square stones. These can be used with this control to steer the minecart. We use this to go to additional boxes throughout this area to get more of the stones to go again. This is a bit of a puzzle. Using 3 stones, we're able to get to another marked location, and we continue this until we have enough to get to the exit. Can we see the exit from here? Not really. So you also need to go out on the carts to figure out where the exit would be. Although for now it's marked, so that's nice. See, that's where we need to get to. But to get to there we need more of the stones, so we need to go to more of the boxes. Now we have more. So it is just an entire process here. Now we have enough to get to the exit. So we can just go here. we ride. Also, there's some interesting visual here. When it turns a little early, so it kind of floats over the edge, slides into place. That's okay. And we find ourselves crouching along, overhearing the Red Axe's plan. They've got an ogre who they're going to have kill us, although we still might be useful. The henchman wants to hit us in the head with his axe, but we can forget about the human for now. They're getting ready for their next test. Fire lookers. Hopefully they'll survive. They're too weak, it'll never work. It would have been so much easier with the statue. The statue had something to do with it. They were the ones that sabotaged the statue and bribed the boatman. If we weren't there, they would have gotten away with everything. So now we're going to continue being the pesky human and continue searching these caves. And for our trouble, we get another giant chasm. Much the same as the previous giant chasm. We grab some squares, and the locations are marked, so we just kind of go for it. Bop, bop, bop. And etc. So I'm going to get through here. Minecart puzzle completed. We move on to the next room. Right through this tunnel. Somehow, this is where they have an archives. So we search through all their paperwork here. Some statistical data, salary structures, shopping lists. Less interesting. And here we have a letter addressed to the boatman about the preparations to destroy the statue and the bribe for crashing the ship. Signed, Colonel Grimson of the Red Axe. In here, we have some information about what happened to that drunken dwarf that helped us find this location. He was wandering in the mines, and they couldn't risk him figuring out what was happening. So they wiped his memory and replaced it with a spell that would make him hungry for kebabs and beer all the time. So anything that slipped through the memory spell would be dismissed. Although it seems they went a little overboard. So they're going to adjust it if they need to use it again. And in the bookcases, we have some information about the employees. We got the director, information classified. Grimson, who was a soldier. He was very merciless and aggressive. He had a head injury, and things got worse, so he was dismissed from the Blackguard and was recruited by the Red Axe. And the ogre that we saw, his name is Grunch. They found him up in the mountains and are using him for his magic abilities. A lot of information about what's going on here, but we must press on. to yet another giant minecart puzzle. Another chasm, more tracks, all over the place. And this time, things are much worse. We grab out even more squares, and this time, the path isn't even marked. So what you can do here is a bit of trial and error. Go out as far as you can. Get a look at where you can see other boxes and eventually the exit. So you can figure out which branching path you need to take in order to get to where you need to be. Like, from here, we can see there's a box there. So that'd be our next goal. Overall, we just need to get through this. Luckily, there isn't like 8 steps or something ridiculous. You just get through here and through the entrance. And we come to another chasm, where we see the director again. This time, with a bunch of gnomes. Their experiment has been completed, and apparently, it's gone very well. They've created soldiers. Very good. Well, not good for us. The gnomes are from Arposandra. They seem to be working together to some extent. But the gnome wants to see these so-called soldiers first. And here they come, marching in. They've created Chaos Dwarfs. The power of Zamorak. They look reasonable. This is a very important discovery, so we really should go back and tell Veldeban. But we've been caught spying. So, magic happens. And we get tossed out. We can't remember what we're doing, but we have to go tell Veldeban something. So, I guess we will. Veldeban, Veldeban, something incredibly important. I want to tell you about how hungry I am for a kebab. Sounds great. What? Don't I have something important about the red axe? I'll be fine once I have a beer and a kebab. Hooray! We've been bewitched. I'm going to follow that random craving and sprint on over to the bar. Delicious kebab. And then we party the night away with some other drunken dwarves, telling our stories about what we've done. Party, party, party. Another tale. How about the one where I saw all the kebabs lined up in a row? Marching. Marching in a line. Totally kebabs, not something else. Obviously. Just a funny story. A tall tale. But we'll just have another drink. We fall off of our chair. And now we look like the fools that the magic is supposed to make us look like. The spell was a massive success. And no one will believe us after seeing that. So their secret is safe. Once more. And that is the forgettable tale. 5,000 farming, 5,000 cooking, and some mature dwarven stouts. 56 farming. We can grow quorum. Fancy. These stouts are useful for doing a small smithing boost. But since we have spicy stews, it's not a huge deal. So, don't really need that. Wield that, drop that. And that is the end of the Dwarven questline. This quest came out in 2005. And we haven't seen any continuations of it. Maybe someday. But for now, I'm going to move on to helping another short bunch. We're heading to Dorgish Khan. Next time. Goodbye.